Welcome back, everyone, to the second half. Olympus Rises, Season 2, Episode 4. Glad you all could be here. Still no Will, but that's okay. He's just asleep. Hello?
Hey.
Hey. Again, and Devin. Okay, good. It is. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Okay, we got two. We can play.
Indeed. I was going to remark with Megan about how I realize now that our new avatars show up on.
Yeah, what are those, by the way?
It's from Boku no Hero. They're the two protagonists. Well, two of the protagonists, because the show kind of doesn't really have a main protagonist. Really, it's one of those.
I see.
It's one of those animes where it's a schoolyard shonen anime, right? Where like Deku, the guy that's my avatar, is technically the protagonist, but it also like goes through everybody's stories as well. So no one's really left. I'm just watching this GIF over and over that you posted.
Isn't it amazing?
The cat's face at the end is what does it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cat's what in the fuck was that? Oh, pretty funny. Megan's probably getting stuff to put in her mouth, so we can give her a few moments while we talk about
the likeliest scenario.
While we talk about how you guys are gonna not die.
Hopefully.
We've been doing okay.
I think so.
Things are, we're getting there.
We killed a thing.
Yeah. So that's probably like the first most important thing to talk about. Like, there's that moment of like you see this thing like dead on the ground, and Oscar, maybe you stab it one more time for good luck.
Yeah, he probably prods it with his sword a bit to like make sure it's as dead as that can possibly get. With being a reassembling metallic critter.
Yeah, and
he gives it a poke or two.
I think that what you see is the kind of metallic exoskeleton is kind of melting away, and it's leaving basically just like the internal components now of the machine, the stuff that was like inside the floating orb. So it's kind of just like a bunch of like computer parts, and some like very basic segmented stuff.
Like the internals that actually move the rest around through whatever mechanism it's.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly. Those are kind of the only thing left after all of the liquid metal kind of just melts into the ground. And so Dr. Fisher obviously comes like running up quickly to stand with his foot atop his slain foe. And probably like hurries up. He's definitely able to get a sample of like the liquid metal and begin like inspecting this this device. Somebody take notes.
I think that at least one of us would probably have the desire to take, like, how much is actually left there, like physical components.
So surprisingly, the internal components are actually not that large. Hello, Megan.
Hello, sorry.
The actual brain of this device is actually not that large. It also doesn't appear to be that complex either. It appears to be like
stuffs that in his bag.
In fact, I think that like maybe when Dr. Fisher comes up, he kind of like looks at it and kind of like does the because I think that even from all of your layman abilities, it looks pretty rudimentary on the inside for how advanced the capabilities of this thing are, right? It looks like a bunch of circuit boards and some actuators, and some devices that are designed to move. And And then I think like probably the other big thing on it is there's like a large they call it like a communications hub, where it's basically like a rounded disc. It's probably like the most like functional thing on it, that is mounted onto this, is basically act as a wireless hub for communication with whatever it's trying to contact, right? Whatever is trying to contact it / it is trying to contact. And that's just kind of like mounted onto the small like brain area of this creature. But Dr. Fisher is able to like snag some of that liquid metal, and I think that as he's like holding it up, it almost seems to like move of its own accord, right? Like as he's kind of like holding it up, you see it's kind of like sloshing around, or like, you know, maybe kind of like almost rising and falling a little bit, as you would see like with waves or with a tide moving in and out. It's actually kind of freaky, you know. It looks a lot like mercury, right? Like that's kind of the substance qualities that it has, the physical properties that it has. Obviously it's much harder than that because it can withstand laser blasts and giant monoblades, kind of.
Fortune's trailblazing.
He sure is.
Yep.
He sure is.
Don't open any more doors.
Yeah, you go first, buddy. Yeah,
so
I think that while you know, I assume Dr. Fisher stands up with kind of his little smirk because he thinks he's so special and got the stuff. I think I would hand him the papers. Be like, can you make any sense of this? I found it in the room back there. Might be a way we can corral Neko. I don't know. It's a lot of sciencey stuff.
You,
just kind of like
you hand him like all the what Chan described as like genetic modification files and stuff like that.
That file. Yeah, the file that kind of looks like Pokemon evolutions.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
basically, yep.
Yeah. I hand that to Dr. Fisher.
Okay. Actually, no, it is not. I almost made a tech med check. This actually isn't a tech med check. This goes beyond medicine. He's actually not great at these checks. But he's got a high intelligence, so we'll see if he knows anything.
Wait, what are these? Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Genetic modification is definitely Maltech. Definitely, like, forbidden technology not to be done under circumstances of proper individuals. But again, I'm going to reinforce this point. This is the Tan homeworld. They have different rules than that of mere humans, which is reflective of how odd their culture has been so far. So he looks it over, and he just kind of like shakes his head. He's like, "Can't make heads or tails of this. I'm just going to change accents every time because he's not here."
I'm like, since when is Fisher like
I was gonna say
freaking Irish question?
Okay, Ringo.
This is his punishment. This is his punishment,
my
okay?
God, it is 100% a Ringo Starr accent. Oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's like, it's not in a language I understand.
Oh god.
I mean, I guess stow it away for later then. I don't know. Where did Fortune? Where the fuck are you now?
You hear a door open in the distance.
You sure do.
Do we hear Fortune squeal like a girl again, or?
Oh, is that?
I'm sorry,
No.
that's insulting to Go-Go. Do we?
True.
So, Fortune, when you begin to approach that door,
Yeah.
and as you do, your hand reaches for the handle, and I need you to roll me a mental effect save, please.
Oh, it's that room.
Yeah, of course it's that door.
I'm good at these, I think. Oh, not as good as I want to be. Yep.
So
Damn. That's a hard
Fortune,
fail.
your hand reaches out, and you glance at your hand, and your hand is shaking. And you kind of like pull it back, and you look at it, you steady yourself, you're like, that was weird. And you reach out again, and your fingers begin to go numb and tingly. And you kind of like, you kind of like flex them to like get the blood flowing in. And you try to make contact with the doorknob, and you can't. Like your hand, you can't drive yourself to place your hand on the doorknob for whatever reason. Your hand like locks in place.
Oscar, assistance is required.
Priest or something. Oops.
This door here.
Why are you opening doors again?
Well, we gotta find the kid, right? Havarti.
Havarti is not the child. Amelia is the child.
But
Yeah.
Havarti is also a child, isn't he?
So-
Well, he's like a teenager or something.
Yeah, so just to remind you, Havarti's room was the south room, and Amelia's room was the north room.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
being these two are the rooms. Oops.
Yeah.
Not what I wanted. Being that these two are the rooms.
But I can't open this door.
So Jordan, I should be able to sense whether or not there's like metadimensional.
Nope.
I should be able to.
There is nothing.
Okay, so it would be notable if there was not, if I expected it, is what I'm trying to get at.
There is nothing.
Okay.
You sense a void between yourself and the door.
Oscar, yeah, he he reaches out, like, with, not physically at first, but he tries to get a sense of what's going on, and it's like,
So
he says,
yeah, so in your meditation training, you're trained to like reach out and sense things, right? Especially as a metapsychonicist, that's usually the course.
yeah,
Metapsychonicist or telepathy are the two that can kind of like reach out and touch things with their minds, right?
right.
And so
there's
yours,
nothing there to touch.
yeah, yours acts a little bit differently than Oha's does, right? So when you reach out to like, not to like block something, but you reach out to kind of like hamper something, and you feel your mind just passes right through it. It enters into a space in which you feel yourself becoming lost and almost sinking into the abyss. As you kind of reach out with your brain, where you can kind of feel your physical body standing there, but your mind is almost set to wander and deeper into the psyche.
I'm having, I think, in this moment, some acute flashbacks to when I thought I was walking outside of the spaceship.
Yeah, I would say not dissimilar.
There's like a weird disconnect that kind of happens when, yeah. I hate myself, but I'm opening the door. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try.
Roll a mental effect save.
I mean, if everyone rolls a mental effect save, someone's got to pass eventually.
Big money, big
Oscar's
money,
really
big
good
money,
at
big
these.
money. Heck
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow, really good at these.
So Oscar, you steel yourself and you place your hand on the door, and as you do, you feel, you don't feel resistance as you do this, but you kind of get that sense of dread, and you turn the handle and it opens, and the door swings forward, and you see that there is a small lead up hallway to another door. Now, this door here is different than all the rest of the doors you've seen before. It is appears to be barred plasteel. There are 2 horizontal bars that go across from the left to right, and there are 2 horizontal bars that go from the up and down positions. They also appear to be woven in such a way, kind of almost so fluidly that you think it might be made out of like a hardened version of the material that those creatures are made out of. And these 4 are woven in such a way, and in the center where it forms a square, you can see that there's a Tan letter, and you would recognize it as the letter A. Knowing the alphabet of another language is different than knowing the language itself. You could probably like Google Translate it if you wanted to, and realize that it is the letter A. And you I think you search for a moment, Oscar, and you realize the door doesn't end at the door frame. That this is part of a larger portion of the house that appears to be all made out of this kind of woven metallic substance. And it looks pretty impenetrable to normal means. And I think Sasha probably says, she speaks and she says, "I'm sorry, but I do not have access to that door. Something else is controlling it. I fear for Mistress Amelia's safety."
Can the rest of us walk past this door now?
You can't, Fortune.
What's in there, Oscar?
You get like this weird. You get like this.
Fortune see? Jordan.
So he sees you just kind of walk in and kind of look around the room. You see the door, Fortune, but it's not a barrier, and like you can like take a couple steps in, but then you get like this feeling as though someone has like a knife at your back, and you know, you do like the kind of trying to put your back up against the wall, and you're overwhelmed with anxiety as you go to step in.
Okay, you get Amelia, and I'll try to find a Vardy. That's the plan. Yeah.
You feeling okay, Fortune?
Yep. Oh, yep. Nope. Fine.
Gogo tries to open this door.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what you were waiting for. Apologize. This door opens with no trouble. And inside, while not displayed here, is a distinct. Actually, you know what? I can display it. This. So there is a bed nested in the back of this room here, and there appears to be a figure lying prone inside of it, under the covers.
I'd probably get to about here. Havarti.
The more distance you travel away from that location, Fortune, the more confident you begin to feel.
Cool. I'm like, Havarti.
You don't see any movement from the figure on the bed.
Havarti? Havarti.
Fortune, why don't you roll me a tech medicine check? No, tech medicine. With wisdom.
Just so everyone knows, I'm gonna fail this.
With that attitude.
Good. I have the perfect description if you fail it as well. Oh, you didn't.
Whoa.
Wow, look at you.
Haha.
So as you like creep up and you stare at the what would be the head of this figure lying in bed, you can tell it is a young humanoid, but the corpse appears to be almost completely drained of fluids. It's desiccated to a point where the skin is flaky and dry, and some of the smaller membrane tissue has completely deteriorated away. So it kind of has that The lips are probably like been rubbed raw back, so you just like see the teeth.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like a case of the most severe dehydration you've ever encountered in your life.
Anyways, I'd be like, Sasha,
Yes.
when was last time you had vitals from Havarti?
The last time Master Havarti showed vital signs was approximately 2 weeks, 3 days, 5 hours, 6 minutes, 27 seconds ago.
Okay, 'cause he died.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Fisher obviously comes like kind of storming up to the bed and kind of slides, and he begins kind of like looking it over, and he kind of does the like wrinkled nose expression. Gogo and Chan, what are you guys doing?
I think exactly what we are doing, just kind of standing at the end of the bed, like not going any closer after hearing what Fortune said, but also just kind of like looking around, I guess, to see if there are any signs of any malintent from other, like, did he really just die of dehydration, or does there appear to be something else at work here?
Yeah, sure. So why don't you roll me a perception check?
And while you're doing
Is
this, I'm
there-
like, hey, Oscar.
Is there any chance his soul was sucked out by a ghost? Because that's what I'm worried about. Anyway, sorry, Fortune one.
I'd be like, hey, Oscar, Havarti's
With-
been dead for 2 weeks.
With what, Jordan? Sorry.
Wisdom.
Heck yeah. If there's anything to see.
Yeah, so you see a couple of things. The first thing you see is you see that there is a pile of like bedding right over here that you probably recognize as like a makeshift fort, like a kid fort, big enough for about one person. And I think that if you walk over and inspect it a little bit further, you see that there is Atani's like stuffed animal, kind of like lying in this little portion of the bedroom. And you see a couple of other things too. I think you see that this window here appears to have the signs of forced exit. So like it looks like somebody basically took a screwdriver to the base of it to pry it up from the inside, not from the outside, right? So like somebody was like trying to pry it up from the inside. And I think that if you gaze over, you see that this side of the building has a bunch of vines that kind of run down, and it looks like it might be climbable. No telling if the window was successfully opened or not, though. In addition to that, you also see that this door over here leads into a restroom, and so if you go in there, you can see that there is a dressing room that leads into the restroom. And as you go into the restroom, I think Dr. Fisher is going to make a tech med check as he's inspecting the body, and we'll see if you guys discover this at the same time.
Nope.
He's gonna re-roll that though. Okay, so Go, you walk and you see, you're just walking around and you the toilet seat is up, and you look into it and you can see what looks like dried vomit inside of the toilet. And it has a lot of blood and bile in it. Almost as if someone was vomiting up sickness. And I think Dr. Fisher says, "Everybody, we need to leave the room immediately." Oha and Oscar, do not come in here. Fortune, get as far away from them as possible.
Meg, whether you want it or not, this is Leviathan Wakes.
It so is. I was sitting here being like, holy fuck. I know how this ends. It ends very badly.
Yeah,
we
and
should not go anywhere near trains, by the way. Nobody get on the train.
Dr. Fisher ushers you, and he like directs you to go over here in this direction.
Oh yeah, I'm doing whatever Dr. Fisher says at this point.
Yeah, and he looks kind of he kind of looks a bit pale, and he looks over at you and Oscar. I assume you like. Do you come out and like look at Dr. Fisher?
Close this door.
When they both exit, the door immediately closes behind them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say somebody
like,
close the door.
Yeah.
So he like waves it closed firmly.
Yeah, and I think that he says, stay over there until I can figure this out. Something's not right here. And so as he gets into here, Fortune and Chan, Go-Go, Dr. Fisher, I need all of you to roll me a physical effect save, please.
I'm ready for it.
Vomit zombie time.
Oh, good.
Chan.
No, that was Dr. Fisher.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Fucking indestructible.
That's you, Go-Go?
Yeah, let me roll for Chan, though.
Yeah, roll for Chan.
Yeah, this is what happens, Will.
Ugh. But
that doesn't really matter.
But that doesn't really count for him, right? Like,
well,
come on.
It actually does.
Because, like, he doesn't have an actual...
Well, so it does, and actually in not a very good way, if anybody wanted to pass it. So, Dr. Fisher begins, like, kind of inspecting. He grabs your hands, Fortune, and are you wearing gloves?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he puts on gloves of his own, like latex gloves, and he pulls off your gloves very slowly. He like inspects the beds of your fingernails. He also then takes like a he reaches into his pack, right? And he pulls out like a wooden popsicle stick, right? Yep. And he actually holds up your nose. No. He actually holds up your nose to give you like a pig nose, and he's kind of like inspecting. And he pulls out. He just kind of like nods to himself. He beckons Chan over. He does kind of the same with Chan. And then he beckons you over, Go-Go, and he does the same with you. And he says, Go-Go, go stand in the entryway. For some reason, it looks like it may have affected you in a different way. And he directs you over here in this direction.
But what about you? Like, and she's like kind of like questioning it as she's like slowly backing away.
And I think he just gives you like kind of a weak smile, and he says, "It's just precautionary."
God, you're such a bad liar.
And so
can I make my own med check? Because based on what I know he's checking for, perhaps I can.
Yeah, sure.
With intelligence, I assume.
Yeah, intelligence.
Why didn't it roll?
Hey!
Aha! Fucking 13.
So based on what you
Without
saw,
even rolling a 6.
Based on what you saw, and based on what the types of things that he's checking for, some type of infectious, probably host related, like parasite host related, because he's checking easy entryways for a parasite.
Great.
Yeah.
Goes very pale.
Yeah. So I think Dr. Fisher he looks at you, Fortune, and he says, "All right, going to inject you with a stim It's going to perhaps be a bit uncomfortable. Have you ever had your stomach pumped before?
No. No.
Okay, well, there's a first
I've
time
drank
for
enough
everything.
alcohol to where I kept going though.
Yeah. Yes, well, there's a first time for everything.
I remember the hotel on Yuri Pylos. Don't worry.
Yeah, he kind of like rummages through his pack, and he holds out your other arm, and this one is kind of like a dull baby blue color, and he injects it in you, and then he actually like he takes your pulse for a minute, so you're kind of sitting there in silence as he's just like looking at his watch, timing. He goes, and like he's just like nodding his head at occasional moments, not really saying anything. And then finally he goes, "Good. No, nothing too adverse. All right. Chan, this will be a bit different for you, I think. How are we going to do this? Maybe I have to take a different approach with you." And then he kind of like he pulls out like a rag, and he breaks one of those stems like over the rag, and you can see he like laces and makes a mask, and he's like, "Chan, you're gonna have to wear this." And he like puts the mask over Chan's face, and like straps it over, so he kind of looks like he's got one of those medical masks on now. He says, "Leave that there. It's for everyone's benefit." And then he pulls out another stem and he hits himself with it. And then he begins to check his own pulse. And he kind of nods. He goes, "Oh, well, be expected. I'm not quite as physically fit as Fortune. There is a chance that I may pass out soon. If I do, Oscar and Oha, you should not come into contact." And then he like, you see him kind of like, he kind of like closes his eyes for a moment and shakes it off, and kind of like stretches his neck. And he's like, "Okay, well, good news and bad news. Good news is, whatever it is, it's not instantaneous. Bad news is there's something. General. That poor boy in there died from something very hideous. I'm assuming parasite related. Something in the digestion, perhaps, but it might be bloodstream related. Won't know until symptoms develop. Until then, we should probably quarantine ourselves. Seems like whatever it is probably close contact. As long as we're not within touching distance of each other, should be fine. Gogo, it seems like because of your cybernetics, because of your cybernetics, it didn't have a chance to reach you.
Perhaps you should all find someplace out of the way to rest a moment.
Indeed. I think containing this is also important, although I don't know how. Here's somewhat airborne, whatever it is. There were signs all around the room, but that could just be from interaction. Too hard to tell. Better to be safe in this instance.
I think Oscar like subconsciously like checks the seals, like maybe he rubs his neck a little, like the
yeah.
This
you check your battery life, right? Like you're like, how long do I have before I have to swap battery packs?
Yeah, like he hot swaps in a new power cell.
Yeah. What were you saying, Gogo?
Gogo just kind of from across the room, because she's standing over by the landing, just kind of like, this might be the time to say I found where those suits are. I think I know where they are. They're back on the first floor, though. Maybe they'll come in handy about now. Yeah?
Yeah, I think Dr. Fisher just like nods emphatically. And he says, yes, we should proceed. Fortune, perhaps we should take up the rear as not to contaminate our path.
Like steps really far away as Fortune stands up next to her. So do these stairs just lead back? Is this like the main stairway?
Yeah, so these stairs go down. The entrance is over here to it.
Yeah.
That was a costly coin flip, Devin.
Meh. I'll be all right.
You'll power through.
So Oha and Oscar, I assume you guys like go to walk past them.
Or did you want to try
Oscar
to
is
get
not quite done with that door.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was gonna say.
Sure.
I was waiting patiently for that to resolve, but
yeah, go for it. What do you want to do with that door?
I didn't really get to interact with it at all. I just got a look at it. So do I now that I'm in here, do I still feel like that weird, like it didn't impact me, but does it basically everything past this threshold feel like off?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. And this door is like you said, like woven plasteel, super heavy duty.
Yep. It's definitely designed to keep something in.
Do we even want to open this fucking door? Why do we? Why do we want what's behind this so badly? Okay, so there's no like terminal or anything that I can see. It's just the door.
Correct.
Okay, I think at that point he he turns to Oha and he says, "What do you think the odds are of you somehow gaining access to this by the terminal upstairs? I could try to pound through it, but I think the house would crumble before the door did."
Yes, that seems poor. I could certainly try, but I have a feeling if I'm using Sasha's terminals to try and unlock a door that Sasha itself, whatever it is, can't open, doubt I'll be successful.
So what I'm hearing is we need to get Neko and get the fuck out.
From what Sasha has said, though, it seems like it may possibly be some automated process. Maybe there are some safety precautions in place.
I assume we're all talking over comms, so Oscar says, we do have all of those suits back on the ship. Perhaps it would be a good idea to get those.
Well, we were gonna get the suits inside the house.
Yeah, we know where they are now. And one of them's, like, they're made specifically for Tan, so if we do actually get to Amelia ever, we can put her in one and keep her safe so we can get her to the ship. The ones that we have aren't made for them.
You're not worried about continued exposure yourself?
Well, I mean, we were all getting them, right? That was my understanding.
Yeah, there's a slew of
there's
prototypes.
multiple ones from what
Okay.
I understand from the documents that I got.
And also, Oscar, you don't need one, right?
Right, but in that so I ask because I needed clarification, because within that statement was the phrase specific to Tan, and I wanted to just double check that it would actually be something that would function for the rest of the crew.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah, no, it totally can. The specific to Tan is they have a lot of extra requirements because of their physiology.
Okay, so they're the deluxe
It'd be
version.
like overkill for us, yeah, basically.
Okay. Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It works for anybody, but it specifically would be overkill for somebody who's not Tan.
Yeah,
at least that was my understanding.
Like, it's designed to not even allow, like, anything in. Like, it doesn't use like a rebreather or anything like that. Like, it's designed literally to be a completely sealed thing.
Man, I guess we should have maybe looked a little harder for those sooner.
Yeah.
Well, we were trying, and then we kept getting attacked.
I
when
know.
People kept
I
opening
know.
doors.
I just
So I'm going down the stairs.
I am
Okay.
going down the stairs. Well,
Yeah, so who all is going down the stairs?
I was gonna say, I think Chan and I should go get them, because according to Fisher, you're not contaminated, and you going with someone who is contaminated could be bad.
I'm sorry. I'm not leaving you, of all people, with Chan. Let's just make that very clear.
Chan,
Out of character, that's a really good idea. In character, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Chan, look,
No,
there's Neko. Let's go wrestle it.
Yeah.
No, Gogo's not letting. Well, also,
Chan, that's
why
an
does
enemy.
Chan have a freaking gunshot in his head to begin with? Oh wait, that was Fortune's fault. Anyway.
Oh no, that was not my fault.
100% your fault.
There's
100%
there's
your
no
fault.
need to dig up the past. There's no.
Regardless, yes, Gogo's standing very far in front of all of you, but also not letting you out of.
Oscar and Oha are at a healthy distance as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also would have pinged the location to everybody's
Yeah. Do you
way.
go?
Like, I would have shared where it was and stuff like that.
I assume you all go down to the first floor as well, because this is just the second floor.
Yeah, just keep going down the stairs.
So you all get down to the first floor. Now, technically, you've discovered part of this, but you haven't because we didn't have this new system. So I'm going to ping the testing room / rec room is actually over here to the far left. Actually, let me shift click.
Nice.
Over there. So that is the intended destination for the party.
I'm not in the front, so.
Gogo is, but I mean, do you want? Can I just? I know Chan wouldn't actually be this close to me, but
yeah, you can
you
just
want me to
move him.
just
That's
move
fine.
him anyway.
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine. I said that in Fisher's voice because he's paranoid about everything.
Okay.
But also maybe because you're all infected with some weird alien parasite.
Well, all meaning everyone, but.
Fortune, get the hell away from me.
No, I'm trying to get behind you.
Is this the way? Wait. Is it this way?
You too, Fisher.
No, because this goes to the courtyard, right? This is not the way.
Yeah, so that's a kitchen with the windows that look out over the courtyard.
So this way?
Well, no,
Is this
so
the intended
yeah,
way?
so you could go in, you could use this room for sure.
Okay, but when you say it like that, maybe I don't want to use that room.
The door opens. I mean, you could go in there. That's totally fine.
Okay, gonna keep going this way a little bit, a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. This is where I turn on the scary music, the scary, spooky.
No, not the scary cello music.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, what's on either side of whatever this is? Is this just little alcoves, or is it?
Yep, it's a dead end room.
So we chose the wrong room.
Great, awesome.
It's the last time I leave you in charge of directions.
Well, I have a map. I would have thought it would have been easier for me to just know where to go, but apparently
To be fair, you don't have a map. You just have, where it is. Like, it was said, hey, it's in the testing / rec room. So, Fortune, just so you know, these are windows.
Oh, those are. Oh.
Yeah, these are windows.
Yeah,
so you gotta go up and around.
Cool. Is this a window?
What is happening? What is that sound? All the spooky music.
It's creepy music. Those are steps that go down into the courtyard.
We need scary, spooky skeletons to play.
So you know that the rec room is actually in here. This door right here.
Ah.
So, or yeah, those stairs that obviously lead into the rec room. So Fortune, as you walk in there, there are a couple of things that you notice. I assume about them. There you go. There's the scary spooky skeleton music.
Yes.
I'll stop.
So much.
So you notice the swimming pool there is glowing with this kind of bluish glow. But it's dark and like if you leave a pool stagnant for too long, it kind of gets that murky color. But you can see that there's like this weird glow coming from underneath the surface. This weird blue glow.
Okay, I'll leave it.